Are we back on? I don't know. Let me see. Let's put on some music while I wait for you guys. No, that's not what I want to listen to. Hey, hey, hey. Let's see what happened. Are you guys back? Oh, you guys are coming back. What happened? Thank God Paul had you guys were all texting me. For spam? Who did I spam? Who did I spam? And you know what's so funny? I'll keep the music on low while everybody comes back in. What the heck? That's, oh my goodness. YouTube removed your content. Let's see what they're saying. I want to see what YouTube has to say. While it loads. Thanks for coming back, guys. I'll give everybody a minute. Let's see. Our team has reviewed your content. It's taken forever to load. And all it says, yeah, what Paul told me. Because it's the first time, it's just a warning. If it happens again, your channel will get a strike and you won't be able to do things like upload, post, or live stream for 1 week. Why? Well, I'm gonna have to reach out to them. What the heck happened there? Came in, said hello, the video disappeared. Pastor Vaughn, I'm blaming you. And look, the timer reset. What happened? I have no idea. So that's so funny. So I see that I was all talking to myself, thank God. And I saw the text. So the problem is that during the day, my phone is on do not disturb, or I keep it on focus for the bank, focus mode. And so I saw Dr. Elo texting me on the teleprompter, but it comes through flipped because it comes through on the actual iPad notification system. So I see Dr. Elo, but I can't read it because it's flipped. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's just telling me because he said he was thinking about me. I didn't see Gigi's message. And then all of a sudden, Paul Duncan, Mr. Moderator, is FaceTiming me. And I'm like, well, that can't be good. Paul would never FaceTime me in the middle of a stream. So something is happening. Either I'm muted and randomly talking and you guys are telling me and I'm not paying attention, and so I pick it up and he's like, your stream got yanked, right? And I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? It still says that I'm live. And then I start looking and it's Gigi texting me, Dr. Elo texts me, Paul is calling me. I'm like, all right. So I don't know. It just says spam, exactly what Paul said, spam, deceptive practices, and scams. So I will reach out to them because I don't know what scams and deceptive practices maybe they don't think I'm doing the 100 days of live streaming. What's happening there? That was so weird, but I'm glad you guys came back. Man, I have no idea what was that. That was so weird. I don't know. That's what happens when you talk fitness and waffle. Spam, right? What? Yeah, I have no idea. I feel scammed. I don't know. I was trying to ask if there's still an IKEA outside of Philly and King of Prussia. Yes. Just leave it to K-Walk to get right back on track. That's the school administrator in her. I appreciate that, K-Walk. Thank you so much. Yes, there is still there's two. So I live right by the one on Columbus, by the heart of Philadelphia and Center City. I'm like 10 minutes away from there. And then it's Conshohocken, if that's how you enunciate it properly. Conshohocken, that one there. And neither of them have the chair that I want. That's very sad. You did it on purpose just so you can reset the timer. Oh yeah, that's it. That's exactly what I wanted. I might as well. At this point, I'm turning the countdown timer off. Whatever. You don't mind. All right, I appreciate you guys. That was... and what's crazy is that I haven't even had any warnings like that at all on my channel. I try to be very good with that type of stuff. Do you think when I was singing to Candace, the Michael Jackson song, could that have triggered it? I mean, I sung it and I'm not that great of a singer, but I've heard stories that can. I'm going to be determined to get to the bottom of it. So we were talking about gaming chairs. I don't know. I feel like I went completely off track. I know that I spoke to you guys about gaming chairs and about it being in stock. And that's good with the Conshohocken. You can say it better than I can spell it. Right. Listen, I can't spell it. I cannot. And the only reason why I know it's Conshohocken is because there's a bicycle trail that goes through Conshohocken. And so like all of my cycling friends are like, yeah. We're going to go and we're going to pass the Conshohocken trail or the Schuylkill or what's the other one? I don't know. All those trails, just give me the bike route. I put it on my GPS and we're good to go. So we were talking about that. I told you guys about my fitness stuff. I mean, whatever. We can get straight into it. YouTube, I don't even want to say anything bad. They're watching. And I don't even want to say anything bad about YouTube now because they're watching me. I'm not scamming, guys. Like, man. All right. Well, let's go back. Let me say that I'm live. Well, I can't say that I'm live again on Twitter. They'll find me. Okay. So I'm going to try this. I've been trying to try this for the last 15 days. On the Stream Deck, I have a courtesy of Alec from Take One Tech. I set up, there's a plugin from Stream Deck where you can kind of do markers and it'll create a text file. And so I set it up, but I had this weird thing that it wasn't working the right way. It's supposed to be hours, minutes, and seconds. And the first time, yes, I know the default, that's because of Restream. So I haven't, it's just generic. Well, we'll unbox none of that. I don't have any of that stuff. I'll update that after the fact. But the first time I tried testing out this timer, the markers for YouTube for the chapters and stuff, when I looked at the text file, it was like 67 seconds and 79 seconds. And I'm like, well, that's not right because there's only 60 seconds in a minute. So we're going to try it now. So I hit timestamp. We are now starting. And today we are going to go off of... Thanks, Paul. You always make me smile. I appreciate you. Today, we are going to talk about Fantastical. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time, well, not a little bit of time because there's not much to compare, but we're going to compare Fantastical's scheduler to Calendly. Calendly is a much more robust system. And I got caught out there yesterday with my planning. And so I immediately re-signed up, reactivated my account with Calendly, and I moved everything back over to Calendly because for what I need and for what it did, Fantastical has let me down, unfortunately. So I'm going to show you guys the scheduling system. It could work depending on what you're using. If you're just starting off, if you only have one type, we'll look at it. It could work. It's not horrible. But I think using the description of Calendly being a much more robust scheduler is the best way to say it. And then we'll look at Calendly and how I have my stuff kind of set up and the thought process behind it and what I do. And you know what was so funny? We even spoke. So I was talking to you guys yesterday about having Calendly for the bank at work. And I told you guys that I was kind of on the fence with creating a Calendly account dedicated solely to use for my bank customers because I didn't want my calendar to be all crazy, blah, blah, blah. What's the sales call today at 2:00? My boss says, so how many of you guys use Outlook? And so the nerd in me, right? I'm like the teacher's pet. And she's like, she asked another question. And again, I was like, me, I schedule all my appointments on there. I schedule all my client calls on there. All of the other, there's about 12 of us account execs on the team, 12 or 15 of us. I was literally the only person that raised their hand that uses the Outlook. One of my peers, he was like, well, I don't use the work Outlook. I use my phone Outlook, his phone calendar. And so he puts his business appointments on the phone calendar. And I get that. And I do something very similar. What I've always done is that anything that's work related, I start in Outlook for work, right? In my work calendar, but I also need it blocked off on my personal calendar because it's work, we can't bring our personal calendars into the work calendar because it's all VPN. It's all like, they don't want us to do that. But that doesn't help me because I have a life outside of the bank. So I need to bring in those appointments on one calendar where I can see, okay, I have this going on at this time. I have that, especially like because I do first time home buyer seminars that sometimes fall on Saturdays, that sometimes fall on the evenings at 7 p.m. I need to know that because that interferes with hours outside of the 9 to 5 bank job. So what I personally do is that if it's a work event, I create it in my work Outlook calendar, and then I add myself as an invitee, my personal email. Or the other way around, when I have things that, let's say a doctor's appointment, or if I'm going to take an hour for me personal time throughout the day, I will either forward it to myself at the bank and add my bank email as an invitee. Sometimes I'm very leery of that because depending on the topic, I don't want them to know that I'm going to go to the gym, right? I'm going to meet with my personal trainer for 45 minutes between 12 and 12:45. So depending on the topic, instead of sending myself an invite, what I will do is that I will go to my bank calendar and then just block it off. And I will title it India Blocked Off Time. So like that, there's no opportunities for double occurrences, and I still have it blocked off on both. So now fast forward, she's talking about what I was talking to you guys about yesterday with giving the customers the ability to see your calendar so that they can schedule time with you. Excuse me. And that's why she was asking if we use our calendars. So yesterday when I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, it was like I spoke it to existence because they will now. She was telling us that she wants us to make sure, and it goes back to what I said yesterday about being very disciplined with scheduling all of your time, even if it's admin time. So like on Mondays, we use Salesforce. And so on Mondays, I have it blocked off on my work calendar from 10 to 12 that I have to update my Salesforce, right? That's admin time. That's not customer time. I dedicate the time to myself. So I'm very good with being, I can get better. I tend to be organized, and I try to be as organized as I possibly can. But it was crazy that I was talking about it yesterday, and yesterday I was like, oh, I really don't want to do that. And then here we are today. She's like, yeah, we're going to give the customers access and they can just look at your calendar and schedule time. So you guys need to make sure. So on one concept, I'm not worried about it because I do have the proper times blocked off. However, I was fighting that. And now it's just like, all right, well, I guess customers will be able to schedule time with me whenever they want. And all that really means realistically is that I just have to get better with my admin time. I don't really block off all of my admin time. It's only when it's admin time that I know it's a report that I have to deliver on or a report that I have to update. Then I'll update that. But now, if I know that I need dedicated time, let's say every morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to check up on my emails, then I'm going to block that off on my calendar just so that I don't have people randomly every day at 9 o'clock scheduling appointments with me Monday through Friday, right? I have to make sure that I keep control of my time. So Gigi says that she is a huge block scheduler. I love block scheduling. I just need to get better at it. So let's open this up. I'm still a little like with YouTube kicking me off. I'm feeling some kind of way about that, guys. But whatever. You guys came back. That's all that matters. You guys came back. I'm thinking internally, but what I'm thinking is, do I want to show you the the Fantastical meeting scheduler? I guess we can do that. We'll do the meeting scheduler first, because that is very cut and dry, very simple. So where is my scene that I did for that? We're going to go here. This should work. There we are. Hey, y'all. This is my calendar itself. I love using dark mode because the colors against the dark mode look very well. They just stand out. And so let's see. I just have to switch. I'm using NDI and a camera share overlay. So I have NDI scan converter. I'm opening up NDI scan converter. And now I'm going to choose, I had it on Fantastical. Now I'm going to choose Safari. And that changed. And so you can choose the particular window with NDI scan converter. It just makes it a little bit easier to resize the windows that you want. And you bring in that particular app as a separate camera overlay. And then you can play around with the size settings to kind of make it fit as best as possible. So that is what we are looking at. Pastor Vaughn says, some people don't respect calendar blocks. Annoying. Yes, 100%. It gets impossible to find time when scheduling with multiple people. I agree with you. And that's what I'm worried about. And that's what I was talking about yesterday. That's what my concern is. I don't have problems, right? Because I use Calendly. I do not have any problems at all with giving someone my availabilities within a certain time, right? So with Calendly, I use it as a content creator. And for my entrepreneurial business, I chose the particular times that I want people to be able to schedule my time with me. With the bank now, because it's pretty much wide open, right? Like I look at the calendar and the customer tells me, well, I can talk to you any day this week after 3 p.m. I get to choose. But now with them having, I don't know, I just feel like it's one thing internally, but we're talking about the bank from a huge, like, customer perspective. I don't know. Is that a control freak thing? Let me know. Am I being too controlling? Does it make sense what I'm saying? Do I just have to let it go? Because sometimes people don't appreciate change. So if it's me, let me know, guys, because I'm all for the feedback and really, self-evaluating. Self-evaluation is huge. Hello. Yeah. Dwayne, you missed it. YouTube kicked me off originally. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you made it. But they apparently said that I was practicing deceptive practices and that I was scamming you guys. And they took my whole stream off. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at this particular, and let me move this up. I want to move some windows around. So as I do this, I can keep an eye on you guys with the comments. And I can see the Ecamm Live program over here. Perfect. Yes. The stream, I was like 15 minutes in, Dwayne, and I'm getting phone calls and text messages from you guys. And everybody was telling me that the stream was kicked off. How weird was that? Because apparently I'm a scammer. But it's fine. We're back now. All right. So we are looking at right now. Can I do this? No. And I want to go back to live mode. Okay, good. So we are looking at the openings, the scheduler, the meetings schedule from an app called Fantastical. So Fantastical is a calendar app that you can use in replacement of your, let's say, iOS calendar, in replacement of like Google Calendar. Excuse me. The company is called FlexBits. They used to be free, or it was like a one-time purchase or something like that. So I've been using Fantastical from when they had it for like the Mac. And I think I paid $30 for it originally. We're talking about 7-8 years. It was extremely popular years ago because they had the smart scheduling, the smart text. And I know that there's a particular term for it. If any of you guys know what the term is, the terminology, please let me know. But basically, it was intelligent scheduling or intelligent typing that you would be able to create a new event and say, meeting with Paul on Wednesday at 3 p.m. at whatever Paul's address is, hit enter, and it would automatically pre-fill all of that in the calendar. And it still does that, but I believe that other technologies and other apps have caught up with that. I think Apple's calendars even does that now. I'm not sure because I stopped using it, but that was one of the biggest draws for Fantastical, was that smart what is it called? I don't know what it's called, but I think you guys know what it's called. Todd said, with what you said about bank customers yesterday, I think you're more about wasting time rather than being a control freak. Thank you. That was the right one. That's exactly what it is, right? I try not to be, but it's, hey girl, hey, you're supposed to be working. Nurse, make sure you're taking care of your patients. You're not blaming us if something goes wrong. Right, you are 100%. Text expander, that is one of them. And I do want to, thank you. I keep forgetting. You guys know the power of India's Post-its. Post-its and Sharpies. I am a sucker for Sharpies, particularly fine point Sharpies. So Brianna, text expander is not what the terminology is that I'm talking about. However, that app, I do want to go over that. So thank you for giving that feedback, because I'm going to put it on my to-do list of things to go over. Good solution. You can't fix people. Right. Exactly. Okay. And so do you guys know if the iOS calendar app does that now? I feel like it does do that now. I feel like in the last year or so, you can start a calendar event and say meeting date night with Angelica on Saturday from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. at Jim's South Street Steakhouse, because I'm a cheap date. So I'll take her to Jim's South Street. And it'll put like the location, it'll put from 3 to 5. I can even say meeting with Angelica Jimenez. And because she's in my contact, it will even add her as an invitee and send her the invitee link. So you can talk native language. It's native something. I know that it's native something. But it's something with your writing in a native language that you can write a sentence the way you would natively. And once you hit enter and you're done, Fantastical will go ahead and do that for you. So it makes it very seamless with that. You get a break. All right, girl. I see you. Okay. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate you. Post-its and Sharpies. You're getting into teacher. Can I tell you, I've always used Post-its and Sharpies. And because I love to give you guys all the mush about me and Angelica's relationship, Angie knew how much I use Post-its to keep my life organized. And I was missing them when I moved back in, moved in with my brother last year when all that stuff happened. And so I get a package one day when we first started dating, because she was trying to swoon me. I get an Amazon package one day, and it is it's this thing here. It's this little cup holder that you can put Post-its in. And she sent me like an additional, I think like 12 pack of Post-its, colored Post-its that I can refill. Oh, my USBs fell. That I can refill. You see, this girl got game. You see what she did? And then she swooned me. She 100% swooned me. But that's how much I love Post-its. It's like intelligent scheduling. Yes, 100% intelligent scheduling. Angie says, with a nice cold beer. That's me, because you don't drink beer, but you are a cheap date, because I can get you like a wine cooler kind of thing and a good cheesesteak, and she's good to go. Absolutely, K-Walk. Never enough Post-its and Sharpies. 100%, you guys. All right, so let's take a look at this. So FlexBits, I pay $20 a month, $20 a year, $20 a year. You can add your multiple calendars. You can bring in family so you can share with it. And one of the things that they're now trying, so it's in very, I don't want to say it's beta because they haven't called it beta, but they just released this about 3 months ago, this openings, they call it their openings feature. So is there a possibility that it's going to get much more stronger, much more robust? 100%. But for right now, not for me. So you can see that I did I have 3 template openings, and very cut and dry. You have the coaching, what's it called, the days that I want to do it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I skipped Friday and Sunday. I give them automatic approval. And then that is, you can put the names that you want. We're going to start one from scratch. So that's so funny. Obs, listen. It's the small things, right? It's the small things. Let me not sing because God knows if that's what gave me the copyright warning. Me singing freaking Michael Jackson. I'm not singing on here anymore. Gosh. So my username, that here. So if I wanted to change it and put, this is just telling you if your username, any existing links will no longer work. That's fine because I'm not using them anymore. And basically what this is saying is that on the link that they provide you, like this particular link here, if you change your username, it's going to show up. So for what I had was the default iDelgado782. If I now change this, let's say India D, anything that I do afterwards, that link will then be, you can see it changed it, right? So it gives you a little bit of customization, which is pretty cool. I guess some branding is better than no branding, but going on the flow that we did this week, you've already bought your domain. You've already put your domain into Rebrandly. So you don't have to worry about this customizing with Fantastical because you got it. You got it. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to open up a new meeting template. And there is the new meeting template, and it's so simple, right? We're going to put in, I don't know, I'm just going to put test meeting, testing during live stream, and whatever you can put on there. That's what people are going to see, that they are scheduling their time with you. So you want to make sure the description, very similar to what we did yesterday with Calendly. Here you get to choose what's the default calendar you want these appointments to go on. So because I already have my calendars sync, you can see these are all of the calendars that I use. So I have my one domain that I use, iDelgado Productions. These are all of the calendars that I created from within Google. So like I was mentioning yesterday, I have a home calendar, my school, my work. I'm going to add now this year, I'll be creating a cycling/fitness calendar, right? So when I add that, that'll show up. And then the iCloud. Apparently I have two different families within iCloud. Don't tell Angelica I'm hiding a whole nother family. But I don't really use iCloud. I use Google because I like to keep it all seamless. So you can choose the default calendar that these appointments will be added to. You have your custom link name here. And then you can go even further then with your availability, right? So how long should these be? Do you want them to be 30-minute sessions? So this is all very similar to Calendly. You can choose your time blocks if you want. So on Mondays, I actually don't want this to be available. I'm going to do Sundays. And then from Sundays, let's say, hey, here we are. I'm going to do till 12 p.m. And let's say I'm going to take a break from 12 to 5, and then I'm going to be available again from 5 to 6 o'clock, right? So you can add multiple ones. So here's the first thing. If I wanted to duplicate this same exact scheduler for both Saturday and Sunday, Calendly lets you copy and paste, right? So we went over that yesterday where there was a copy feature. As soon as I hit copy, another box opens up. And you can choose the dates that you want to copy that schedule with. You can already see here, I have to now go ahead and add this in every single day or do it manually. So it's like first world problems. Oh my God, I have to type for an extra 60 seconds. But when you're talking about being more efficient and more productive and just having a more efficient workflow, in its entirety, these small things add up to the much larger things. Right? So comparing a much more robust system, Angie, are you saying that because I have more than one family? I'm going to not hear the end of that conversation tonight when she gets out from work. So you can already see there, with that, I don't like that. I like being able to just copy and paste because as you start to either grow your business and you say, you know what, these days don't work for me, and you want to change something quick and on the fly, this just becomes a little bit, I don't know, messy, more work. And so You can do the same thing in terms of how far in advance, 30 days, 60 days, and it's a maximum of 90 days. So we're going to leave this for now. Then I'm going to open up the approval. So do you want this? And Calendly also has this. I didn't review this yesterday, but they also have the option that you can have it where it automatically goes to your calendar and it's confirmed, or you would have to manually go in and confirm it. And that's what this is saying here. Do you want to automatically approve these meetings as long as you have the availability, right? Or do you want to go in and manually review and approve? So that's going to depend on your business. And at that point, I think it does become, are you a control freak or not? Because I fine tune my availability. And because I am working on being a much better time blocker on my schedule, I don't need to. But if you're the type of person that you know that you need to get better at blocking off your, let's say, your one-on-one time, whatever it is, your family time, whatever that is. So let's say you know that you want to make yourself available on Sundays the way we just did right here. I made myself available from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. But then I decide to take the family for lunch or for breakfast on Sunday morning. If I didn't block that off, that can create a potential conflict. And so by manually choosing to approve these meetings, that'll help eliminate some of those potential conflicts if you are not as dedicated with blocking off as much time as you possibly can, whether it's reading, whether it's working out, right? Like that's, I think, going to be the biggest difference between automatically approving and manually approving these types of meetings. So Paul says you can't restrict it to only X number of meetings per day with this. That is a great point. Thank you. Because as you can see, that's why I said Calendly is much more robust. Because this is it. Those are what my options are. So I'm just going to click on, I'm going to go to devices. So we can back out of the screen. So I just clicked on devices. I'm going to go back to openings. That is all you're getting with the openings, what you are looking at here. Let's just go in a little bit so you can see it a little bit more. And then I can just scroll up and down. This is it. The existing meeting templates. And then when we go to creating a new meeting template, those are your only three options. So there's no option to automatically schedule a Zoom for you if those are the type of meetings that you want. There's no options to give like adding guests, right? So you can see here where before we had all of those customizations. That's why I said that saying that Calendly is much more robust. I didn't want to just come straight out and say that this one sucks, but Calendly is a much more robust system compared to this here. I don't know, because then it becomes, I guess it's pretty cool. It's good to have if you're doing like just how often are you really scheduling people? You know, if you're just getting into this and you don't want to immediately commit to paying, what did I say? If you want to do it monthly with Calendly, it's $15 a month, right? So you can either do $15 a month or it's $144 if you pay annually for the year. If you didn't want to get straight into that and you wanted to just at least work on your schedules, then this can do the job. But then just talking about being efficient and being as productive as possible, right? Time is money. And so when you're talking about time is money, this particular example, if you know that you're always going to be doing Zoom meetings or meetings somehow outside of phone calls, then this didn't even give an option for location. So let's talk about even pre-pandemic. If you had an office or something like that, I can't even add a location unless I chose to do it in the description, where Calendly gives you all of those additional options. So you can choose the location, whether it is a video conferencing software, whether you can put in a physical location. It gives you an option to block off dates, times. Like there's so many more things that you can do to just expedite and make your workflow more efficient. Because So this was an example of what happened. If we go back to the scene, this is what happened to me yesterday morning. So the client, the potential client that I had met with, used my 60-minute meet. No, actually, it was a 30-minute meeting that I gave him. I gave him the link for my 30-minute meeting. He scheduled a time with me. I knew that he scheduled time with me, but then there were no alerts, right? So then that's the other thing, because, excuse me, when we were looking at Calendly, we also looked at customizing different alerts, the notifications beforehand. Do you want to send a text 24 hours? The way I had it set up was that I have a reminder text 24 hours, but then 4 hours before the event, there's also an additional notification. This doesn't even give you any of those options. And you know what's so funny is that when I planned this week, I'm going through all of the scenes. When I planned this week and the subjects, I was dead set on telling you guys that you didn't need Calendly. That's the ironic part. I was like, why would I? Because it's not that I want, I don't think you guys should spend money, but I am a big advocate of someone that says, why spend money if you don't need to? Like, we spend money on so many other things, right? The gear, all that stuff. If you can find a substantial substitute that does the same exact thing or close to it, it's not going to be the same exact thing, right? Every company offers their own features and benefits that may be a little bit, their value proposition is never going to be exactly the same. There are going to be differences in value proposition. And so I was sold on Sunday when I was at my 100-day planner, and I said, on this day, we are going to talk about Fantastical and their meeting planner. I was going to say that you can use this one. And then yesterday, the day that we were going to talk about Calendly, I didn't have my notifications. So then I was late. Shame on me for not being more diligent with my calendar. But I was 10 minutes late to my meeting. And then what was even worse was that I totally forgot. And so there was no Zoom. And so then when I sat down that I was even ready for the meeting, I said, give me 5 minutes. Like I told you, I had to go and fix my hair and put on a hat and all of that stuff and get ready for camera. I sat down in the studio and I was like, so then it took an extra 2 minutes because now I had to open up Zoom. I had to send, create the meeting, copy the invite link, send it to him via email. I had to find his email address through the calendar invite and then send it to him very quickly. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I had a story to tell him and he appreciated it. And I told him, you know what's so crazy? And I let him know that we were going to be talking about Calendly. He was like, well, I guess you have a story to talk about today. I said 100%. So you can see here, I guess, I don't know. I feel like I may have talked you out of wanting to use it, but it has its values and it has its, I guess, it's beneficial for someone. A part of me wants to reach out to them and say, listen, are you willing to do a beta? And, I don't know, maybe I'll do that and help them out a little bit because they need to know. But that's it. There's really nothing else to show. Well, I did want to show you. Let me show you actually lies. I'm lying to you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my NDI converter. I'm going to now choose. Do I want Fantastical Helper? Let's see. I'm going to open up Fantastical. We're going to go back to Ecamm. Screen share. Is that this? Well, that didn't work. Bear with me one moment. And it didn't stick. There we are. Fantastical. There you are. And what I want to do is, so I am going to open up the Fantastical preferences. And from the Fantastical preferences, I don't know if I can share that. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to minimize this and move some comments over, and I'm just going to share my desktop. because I want to take away some of the clutter. Okay. And we're going to go back to NDI. Move this way. And I'm just going to share my whole desktop. Okay. You guys can see literally everything. What I really want you to see. Can I make this bigger? I cannot. This box over here that I'm moving around is what I really want you guys to look at. This is the preferences box from within Fantastical. And you can see that you have like the accounts if you want to look at the types of calendars that you want to show, because I actually don't show every calendar. So, right, the holidays, because every calendar has its own holidays, I uncheck the holidays and I just leave, I think, the regular Gmail holidays. There's a default one that I have. So you have your calendars that you can choose from. And then you can see from within the preferences window of, if you wanted to try to use it, if you have Fantastical, or if you're thinking about Fantastical, this is how you get to it. Once you are paying for premium and you open up your preferences, you click on this box here and that opens up. It's called openings. And then here, all you have to do, this box, and I know it's kind of small, but this box here, I don't know if I can make this bigger. View. I don't think I can make this. Let me see. No, this won't be bigger. Nope. All right, that's fine. So this box, this little small section here, just is a checkbox for enabling openings. So you need to make sure that you enable openings and then your calendar set. So you can choose your calendars. I had it enabled to just read from all of my calendars. So I left all calendars. And then here, this gray box, meeting templates, now that opened up another window. So I'm just going to start minimizing windows so we can just focus on one window at a time. And this gives you a shortcut, very small column type of deal. And here you can create, it shows you the meetings that you have, so you can share it from within the link here. And it tells you the details of the meetings that you have, right? So we just did this test meeting and it automatically showed up from within my Fantastical app. If I wanted to do another opening, I hit the plus and then it takes me to that meeting template page where we were at. So that's what I wanted to show you there. And then we can look at Fantastical itself. And I'm just going to change NDI back so we can make this full screen. Okay, there we are. And so this is my calendar itself. Simple calendar. What I like is that with the to-do list, I tend to use the iPhone reminders app a lot. So instead of using a to-do list or instead of using notes and doing like a new note as a task or whatever, I actually really like, and maybe we'll add that as well, the iPhone, the built-in Apple/iOS reminders app, because that actually has really robust features. If you guys aren't using it, you can share lists, you can create new lists, you can share lists, you can add people to lists, you can do like tasks, subtasks, priority. So I'll go over that one day, but I tend to use the reminders app a lot. And so with the reminders app, you can choose in Fantastical what tasks you want it to look up. So you can see if you're looking in detail, today was my payday. And then I have to make an appointment with one of my doctors. That was a task that I was supposed to do as of March 8th. So shame on me, because I haven't done that. But that's one of the tasks that I have left. I think I've completed the other tasks. If I had other tasks, they would show up here on the left-hand column under the month side. So you see you have a few different views, right? You have your month at a glance. And the way I break it down is I like to see my month at a glance. And then I like to look at a week at a glance. So I like to have them both side by side. And as I have them both side by side, I can be like, all right, so how busy am I in the next week, or how busy am I in the next 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be. On your month view, there are little dots under each number. And so with it being color coded, if you really take advantage of the time blocks and color coding, each of my colors mean something different. So for me, green is my home category. Red is for my I Delgado Productions, and then the blue are some of my work tasks, right? So that's how I've kind of started to be able to look at it from a visual perspective of how much I have for what, each different category. It gives you some some of the weather information. We can break it down. So this was my day breakdown, so you can see some appointments. Because I haven't completed this task will continue to roll over every single day until I've marked it complete. And it'll roll over within the same time, okay? Then you can see, right? So like the blue, that was a mortgage inquiry that I did with a client earlier today from 12:30 to 1. You can also see maybe this, I think, can I zoom this in? I don't know if I can zoom this in. Give me 1 second. I can. So I wanted to show you here. All right, so I zoomed it in a little bit. And what I want to show you is if we hover, right, on that appointment that I did from 12:30 to 1, right next to the 1 p.m., there's a little camera icon. And what that means is that's the Zoom symbol. That means that I created, because you can connect. So Zoom and Fantastical work together with integrations. So with Fantastical, you can log into your Zoom account. And if there's any meetings that you create from within Zoom, it'll automatically add it to your calendar for you. So you have that there. What is going on, big brother? What's popping? I'm going to stop for a minute. What's going on? How you doing today, bro? How was vacation? I missed you. Glad to see that you are back. Let me get back to this thing. And it's so funny that you show up because you are a Fantastical user just like me. So I said, oh, I wonder if Doc will be here because I know that you love using Fantastical. That's what we're going off of. So just looking back at this particular appointment, right? So I scheduled this in Zoom because the client wanted to meet with me in person, and she's an hour and a half away from my house. And I was like, oh my God, Irene, I'm so sorry. I live in Philadelphia. You're in Northern New Jersey. I can't quite meet you today. However, if you are okay with doing a Zoom, then let's do that. So I went into my Zoom, scheduled it for her. It automatically pre-populated in my Fantastical calendar. And then if we double click on it, can I? Oh, there it is. It's on the where my big head is at. Let me move my head. Hold on, espérate. So let me move me over here. And you can see on the right-hand side a new column. So let me unclick. There we go. Right? So there's no item selected. If I click on it, now these are all the particulars. So there's my Zoom link. So if I have my calendar open and I double click on it, it's going to automatically take me to Zoom. So I've already said it a few times within today's stream about your workflow being more efficient and just making your processes as efficient as possible to cut down time. By connecting your Fantastical with your Zoom account, that helps you, right? One, with clicking on one less application versus another application. And then once you're actually ready to go ahead and start the Zoom, now I just have my calendar. And then the other thing that I like is that Fantastical has a little taskbar app that it will show up on your taskbar. And if you have upcoming Zoom meetings, when the time comes, it'll give you the little icon, the video icon that you can see on the left-hand side over here. And it'll give you that same video icon and you can click on it from within the taskbar. So I don't have to have the actual full-blown calendar open. I can just have it on my taskbar and then that shows up. So that's one part, right, of that. And let's go back. So that's the day. You can see then the day view gives me all of my stuff. If we scroll down, so you can see this red bar here, this red bar just shows that it's now 8:18. That's where we are within, Mary Lou, you guys are coming out of the woodworks today. What's cracking, Mary Lou Mandel? I'm excited to be with you next week on Ecamm. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Let me just go back. Okay. So you can see that that's where we are in the timing of everything. Let's see. So that's my day schedule. You have your week. If you want to look at the month, I am not trying to look at this because too much for me. And that's because I have a lot of recurring invites, right? So like I put the 100 days of live streaming on my calendar because I needed to block it off. I needed to make sure that, because I do meet with customers sometimes late night. So I wanted to make sure that it doesn't interfere with my 100 days of live streaming. So I blocked it off on my calendar from now all the way to, I think it's June 18th. So I don't want to see all of this. If you want to look at a bird's eye view of the quarter coming up, then you can do your quarter, and then you can also do your annual view. The week view is the best for me. That's what I like seeing. That's where I keep it on. And if we go back, and you can go back and forth on the top where it says today. So let's say I want to see where I'm at 2 weeks from now. So 2 weeks from now, on April 4th, I am wide open. I don't have any appointments as of right now. And so if I'm looking to book time with people, then I know that April 4th, I'm good to go, right? And so do you have to deal with me? Yes, you have to deal with me until June 18th, Paul. Yes. Gosh, Jesus. And after that too. Okay, hold on. All right. So I wanted to look ahead, but now I want to get back to today's date. So you have your arrows that take you backwards and forwards a week, or if you're in the month, it's going to take you backwards and forward 1 month. And now I don't even know what month I'm in. I'm in May right now. So if I need to get back quickly, I'm just going to click on the today button, and that takes me back to today's date. If I click on the week, it takes me back to today's week. So, oh yeah? Oh, I can't even think of anything smart to say. How about that? Okay, so that's your calendar view. As a whole, if we click on new calendar set, let me just go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my desktop with you again so you guys can see everything. And so I'm going to click on this new calendar set. It may be a little bit hard to see, but click on new calendar set. And so you add interesting calendars. If I want to manage my calendars, so now this box pops up, and that's what I was showing you before. So if I only want to have certain calendars that show up, then that's where you would add them and not add them. The other thing that I like about this here is you can choose your default calendar. So for right now, I actually have my I Delgado Productions as my default calendar. I'll either have one of two as my default. I'll either have my I Delgado Productions as my default, or I'll add my work email as my default calendar. And what that means is that basically whenever you create a new event, that new event is going to automatically add it to that calendar that you chose. And then you have to manually. So if I know that I'm always doing events here on this calendar through my content creation, then that's going to be the default. And if I need it to be for home or for work or for something like that, I'll just manually change it. And then the same thing with the tasks list, right? So what I was telling you guys about the different tasks that we have there. So let's go back, and I'm going to create a new appointment. So it opened up a cursor box. Let me see if I can get out of here. And I'm just going to share Fantastical. Okay. So what I did was on the top, right above the days to go, if I move that, on the top above March 2022 and the two arrows, there's a plus. You click on that plus, it opens up a text box. And that's what I was saying about the native language. Here we're just going to say, whoa, what happened here? Wait, let's get out of there. I don't want to show that. Hey, get out of here. So I'm going to X out. Okay, so I'm going to do a new event. Date night, if I can spell night, with Paul Duncan. June, so let's do on June 18th from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. because for whatever reason, I like date nights from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. at his house. So you can see their suggestions. Apparently his house children's home, his house thrift shop, his house Miami Gardens, Florida. So we'll do his house Miami Gardens, Florida. So you can see all I did was just type natively date night with Paul Duncan on June 18th from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. at his house, and it did everything for me. I don't think I have Paul's email saved because I think that if I would have had his email saved, it would have even added that for me. But now if we look at the actual event itself, I'm just going to let me close this. No, there. Right? If we look at that section on the left-hand side, you can see it starts on the 18th at 3 p.m. It ends on the 18th at 11 p.m. It defaulted to my iDelgado Productions. And I can click on this arrow to the left of add event and it opens up some more, right? So we have the address of his house, whoever's his house is on 20,000 Northwest 47th Street, Miami Gardens. That's probably Lewis's address. Someone called Lewis. But because we have that there, now if I click on travel time, and it's going to automatically, because it knows my house or where I'm at. So it automatically calculated if I choose to drive, it's going to take me 16 hours and 48 minutes. If I choose to walk, it's going to take me 430. And I should have, yes, Aubrey, I should have put with Maestro. That's so funny. If I choose to walk, right, the time, or you can do custom timing. I love using the travel time feature, especially for work events, because you guys know that I work from home 9 times out of the 10. So like yesterday when I had that mixer, putting it in my calendar, I already knew that it was going to take me at least an hour to get there. So that means that I needed to start time blocking off way before. Because of that, I needed to allot for my travel time. So I love using the travel time feature. And then this is another piece of that works for me because I need multiple alerts. Like, are you that type of person in the morning that you hit snooze? Do you need who here? Let me know who here needs more than one alarm clock. Raise your hand if you are guilty. Call 911. I 100% have, and Angie hates it. She wants to take my phone and chuck it across the bedroom because I'm the type of person. I have an alarm clock at like 6:05. And then I do odd numbers. Hold on. I need to make you guys full screen for this because we really need to talk about this. This needs to be a thing. I do full screen. I'm looking at you guys. I do, let's say, one alarm clock at like 6:15, 6:10 at a set time, right? A standard time. Then, so let's say I set the alarm at 6:15. The iPhone snooze is 9 minutes. I'm aware of that. I need something to ring between the snooze and the first alarm. So if my first alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m., I'm putting my second alarm at 6:21, an off number. So that 6:15 it goes off, I hit snooze. Then 6:21 it goes off, and I either wake up or I don't at that point. But if I don't wake up and I turn that one off, then my snoozed alarm from the 6:15, which means that it's going to go off again 9 minutes later, which is at 6:24. I swear to God, Angie will like shake my pillow or she'll like kick me and, you know, whatever. Don't judge me. I'm a multiple alarms kind of girl. Okay. Hola, Noel. ¿Cómo es? I said that like a gringa. ¿Cómo está? That was like, ¿Cómo estás? How are you, Noel? Thank you for coming through. Let's see. I will have to let my Florida state know. Yes, you do that. Hello, Eric. How are you today? Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. You don't need an alarm clock. I have Maestro. So that's Angie with Koa. Tyler has gotten to the point where he's so old he sleeps in. So thank God I don't have that anymore. Used to, but now you have dogs. Tyler's good with that stuff. And Koa is starting to sleep in as well. So Todd says I'm usually up before the alarm clock goes off. So it depends. And so you were here at the beginning of the stream. It depends on my statistics and my Whoop band and how well I slept. Sometimes I'm not that bad, but when I'm tired, I need multiple alarms to get up. Hey, Robin, feel so alive. How are you? You hit snooze a bit. Good. I'm glad I'm not the only one in this alone. I get a paw on the nose. So we keep Koa on. So Tyler sleeps late. Tyler now, he's old enough that he will sleep in till like 8 o'clock. Thank you, Lord. Such a good puppy. Koa, however, will wake up at like 6. Now she's starting to sleep at 7, but we keep her in the crate for sleep. And because if not, she will absolutely jump on the bed and it will be a big paw because Koa's going to be a big girl. So yes, I got it planned, Obs. I swear to God, the breakdown of the 9 minutes, I got to have one at the odd hour. So I try to have one at an even number, and Angelica hates it. When we finally, when we get together that we're spending time together, if she remembers, she will I'll fall asleep. She has no shame because I'll have already fallen asleep. And if she remembers, she will roll me over and she'll be like, turn your alarm off. She will give no F's and will wake me up out my sleep before we really get into it because she's not trying to, especially when she doesn't have the kids. So when she comes over to my house, 100% she will wake me up and tell me, turn off your alarms right now. So, you know what? And Tyler was never like that. So I'm definitely lucky with Tyler. Even when he was younger, he was good. He slept in with me. So I didn't have to worry about that stuff. But Koa is a pain in the ass. And Koa will now, because we keep her in the crate. So the crate creaks. So you hear her nose with the door, trying to shake it open. And then she is a big whiner. And it's all right, I'll take you. Maestro doesn't understand. Right. Exactly. Carlos, what's going on today? Carlos, how are you doing? Carlos says, most people don't realize how anxiety can be connected to poor time calendar management. Consistently failing to manage our time effectively often leads to procrastination, which fuels anxiety. You know what, Carlos? I appreciate your feedback. That's all I'm going to say. Because there are times that I am a procrastinator. So now I'm going to star this comment. And once the stream is done, I'm going to evaluate my whole life. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you. Carlos got me evaluating all my life decisions. Oh my goodness. God, who knows what's up? That's it. Doc says, when the alarm goes off, stand your ass up. Team no snooze. Well, mister, I was in the military and I'm extremely disciplined. I mean, I'm disciplined. I'm not that disciplined. I like being in the... Doc, you know me, because y'all be calling me and I be under the covers already. I'll be like, nah, y'all. Good night. Good night. I need my rest. Okay, Angie. Whatever. You know what? Doc, you didn't just come back to just jump on these bandwagons in these streets. Doc says, stress is caused by broken promises to ourselves and others. Late is a broken promise. Oh, shit. Look. You got me knocking stuff. Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I knocked something over. You guys got me feeling self-conscious. Thank God my laundry room is here. See, that's what happens with the laundry room. I knocked over my soda. Oh, God. I'm going to have to do some self-reflection. I'm back. Hold on. I got to do some self-reflection after today's stream, guys. With Doc Rock and Carlos and Angie coming on. Whatever, you guys. You did. Did you hear the soda drop? Got me spilling it on my wood table. Gosh, I love you too, big brother. Just shove her out of the bed. Paul, do not. She will. My bed is high. Angie's bed is like a normal height. And Doc likes to say I'm short. So it's either that I'm short or my bed is high. I like to say that my bed is high. So if Angie pushes me off the bed, I'm getting hurt. So no. Wake up and go for a walk. then work a Sudoku because I'm old Todd. What the heck?
Ho, ho, ho.
Doc putting the foot on the gas hard already. I know Doc just came back. You could tell he's feeling spicy. Just came back from vacation. Gosh. Relax, relate, release. Thank you, Brianna. God. I know. Doc, they kicked me my stream. They said that I was scamming people like an hour ago. Used to sleep in like mad when I got my job in San Francisco. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was at the job at 7 a.m. Granted, they had breakfast every day. Spoiled. See, that's good. You're always in the mirror, but they don't count it as self-reflection. You know what? I can't stand you. And I was saying at the beginning of the stream today that my curls was looking right today. Whatever, Doc. That's how I feel. Okay? That is how I feel. Let me get back on here. I love routine and thrive there, but also like to go with the flow. Gemini problems. That's what I'm talking about. Right. Thank you, Gretchen. That's exactly. I'm glad, Gretchen, we are on the same page because that's what I wanted. I almost just said, Doc, how long were you waiting for this one? Like, it's like he's just pulling him out his pockets like bang, bang, bang. I'm back. Ha, ha, ha. I love you. Hey, gang. Hey, gang. I missed you too, Doc. Drinking Cafe Butelo. That's right. Drinking my Cafe Butelo in my Ember cup that keeps my coffee nice and hot all the time. Okay? Okay. Gosh. You guys are funny. Let me just look back at this Fantastical. That was pretty much it in a nutshell. I'm going to do a separate class. You stupid. God, you laughed at that. Hey, gang. Hey, gang. Let me tell you something, gang. Hey. You know, I know that's what you laughing at. Don't fall off the chair. This damn crappy chair. If Angie's watching, maybe I need to fall off this chair so she can be convinced that I need a new one. Because you see, I keep moving around in it. Gosh. So I am going to do a separate live stream on building out calendars altogether from within Google and how I do it that way and then coordinating it. Todd, I see that you're still here. So I know you wanted to go. Todd and Aubrey, you guys both wanted to.
Ho, ho, ho.
And I just want a reason to do that when I'm talking to Todd. I know you guys both wanted me to go over like some blocking. That's pretty much it. And I went over it between yesterday and today, how I really keep myself organized. So I do a lot of forwarding between the bank and between. So either I'm forwarding my personal events to my bank email, or if I'm scheduling something for the bank, I'm forwarding it to myself. I take advantage of color blocking, so I color code as much as possible. Excuse me. I try to make it make sense for me. So like the blue for work, it's also associated that with my bank colors, they're blue, right? So that I know in my mind, that's how I go ahead and I make it work. Let me just go back to the calendar scene so we can take a look at that. Right? And then red is my favorite color. And I have to fix my date night with Paul Duncan on June 18th. Actually, I'll be in Vermont for Rooted in Vermont, the gravel training. But you can see here, right? So like apparently on June 15th, I have a women's ERG for work. I knew that because it was blue. So the same thing here. This is a weekly sales call that I have for work every Friday at 2:00. And that's blue. If we go to today, this was my calendar for this week, right? So I have all of the ladies' night of live streaming. Then I had like a board meeting. I had some other stuff, blue stuff, and then just random personal stuff throughout. So the color blocking really helps. I take advantage. Oh, that's what I started to show you guys. We were talking about the alerts. So I love a Fantastical because you can add almost endless alerts. And so you can do an alert if you're taking advantage of the travel time section. So if you have something where you do travel time, we'll just put that on here, 16 hours. Now you can choose some different things. So you can do at the start of travel time, or do you want it to alert you 1 hour before travel time? Do you want it to give you a day or 2 days before? And then you can click on custom and you can go even further with clicking on custom. That box didn't show up But basically, when you click on custom, another box shows up and you can choose to either send a message or send an email. When do you want it to go off? So do you want it to go off at the time of the event? And then you can choose minutes, hours, or days. And then that'll be X minutes, X hours, or X days before the event, or X minutes, hours, or days after a certain time frame, right? And then you can choose a particular time. You can also add with Fantastical, which is really good, and I know that the iOS calendar does not have that, is that you can also add in proposing another time. So let's say I wanted to give Paul a choice on our date night, and I said, all right, honey, if you don't want to do it on the 18th, I propose that we can do it on the 19th. So you have your first block on the top half where it says starts on 6/18, and then here's proposing another time. So you can add multiple times. So that's kind of like a calendly thing if you want to stay within the app and you want to control the creation of the event and you want to give people some options. You can do that from directly within Fantastical by taking advantage of this proposals. So you can figure out when you're available, give them different options. So 3 or 4 days, or maybe the same day, one time at 10 a.m., another time at 1 o'clock, and then another time, let's say at 3 o'clock. That's when you have openings. So you can propose your times. You can add the invitees here. I don't have Paul's email here. Darn it. Gonna have to take care of that. But with the email address, you can put that there. You can create a shareable link so they can add themselves to the proposal there. Any notes. So it's a really smart scheduling system. And then again, adding the event manually. So taking advantage of the proposals, now you have the option to add the event manually, right? You can choose. So because I created a Fantastical link, adding the event manually was the only option. If you want the event to be added automatically, don't create a link. And then here you can do when replies are unanimous. So basically, when the replies are unanimous, then what that means is that you gave 3 or 4 different options, or let's say 2 or 3 different options. Everyone chose one of those options at the same time, and then it's going to automatically schedule it for everyone there. What calendar do you want it to add it to? What email address do you want it to send to? And then how do you want to be notified? I would choose after each response if you're dealing with everyone, or if you have like 20 invites and you don't want to be notified every single time. You just want to be notified when everyone got on the same page. You can choose after all responses or after each response, or never. Just put it on my calendar. Don't notify me. And then the invitees, you can choose the 2 options that show up are they can see each other or only I can see invitees. So you have that, and then add proposal, and this will tell me has no invitees, whatever the case may be, and you can continue to go from there. So Todd has a question. Give me 1 second. Where are you? Here we are. Todd says, can you add an event without blocking the time off? My boys split time between me and their mom. I'd like to mark the days they're with me, but I don't need to block any time. No, I don't think so. Well, I would say off the top of my head, without really like thinking too much into it, is to add it and then do an all-day event. If you do an all-day event, let me just go in and let me delete my date night because Paul said he doesn't want to go on a date night with me. So I'll just do a date night with Angie because Angie will go on a date night with me. It's fine, Paul. So let's go back. So I'm going to create a new event and I'm going to say Todd, date with boys. And let's choose, I know that I was free for the most part on April 4th. So I'm going to choose April 4th. Oh, what's happening here? Yep, that's what you want. And so you can see if you leave it as an all-day event, it'll just show up on the top, right? As opposed to, I'm going to uncheck this box on the top where now here, if you choose a specific time, now it's going to block off. So if you want to do it all day, right? If we go to, let's say 3 o'clock, it's going to extend that, but you don't want to have it time blocked. So what I would recommend is you just change that and you just leave it as an all day event. And when you leave it as an all day event, it'll show up at the top of your events, kind of like my payday, right? So that's how I do some time blocking. And I hope that that's what you mean, Todd. Let me know. But I want to make sure that I'm notified. I just need to have it on my calendar. That's probably the Puerto Rican in me. I need to know, listen, I get paid every 2 weeks and I want a reminder of that. This is pay week, right? So you can see that you can mark it off and set it as available. So let's go back to that. So I'm going to do all day. I'm going to do to 12:30 p.m. Show, thank you, Paul. So when you do it, do free. Let's go back. So what happened here? No, because I did free and it still shows up. So I think with what Paul, that's what Todd is saying. So Paul, what you're saying, so he doesn't want, if I understood Todd's question correctly, he didn't want it to show up as this whole block of time. He just wants to have it like as a visual, this is a day or whatever, but he didn't want these things. So I did choose it as free, but it still chooses the time off. And the difference between free and available is that basically if you're free during that time and you have a reminder for yourself, then people can still schedule time with you, but it's still going to show up visually for you on the calendar, if that makes sense. Let's go back, jump back a scene. Gretchen says, could you color code those days but not block them? No, because you would have to create events to add something into your calendar, right? So to color code, if I'm understanding you correctly, there's no way for me to do anything with the day itself unless I'm adding in an event. But then it would be an all day event, right? So if he, let's say, had the kids, his sons, for the weekend, let's say April 8th, 9th, and 10th, which are on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then he can choose a particular color because you can customize Fantastical with the colors. So if you go in and you can edit your calendars. Let me just get to the right way. There's a way to choose it. I know I can do it from within the app, and you can also do it from within Google itself. I'm just looking at it really quick. Yep. All right. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to share my desktop with you. Here, desktop. Let's go back this way, back this way. And what I did was I opened up my preferences. Note you are not being a spoke in the wheel. Cut it out. Cut it out. Hold on. Let me go back over here. Right. It'll show up. Yeah. We got it. All right. So what I was saying, if you want to choose different color coding on your Fantastical, when you open up Fantastical and you open up your preferences, it's going to open up this box here. You'll be in your main page, and then you're going to click on your calendars box. And then from your calendars box, this is what I've showed you guys, that these are all the calendars that I have. And so if you want to customize each individual one. So let's say like my India work, I have that kind of like a baby blue, royal blue. My other job was a lighter blue. This bank now is like a more of a navy blue. So let's say I want to change that to accurately reflect my bank's logo colors. Down here in this box, you have a plus and a minus and a cog or a gear. I'm going to click on the gear button. And then here, this lets me change the name of it. So right now I have it under India Work. I can type in Columbia Bank if that's what I want, or I can just type in work, whatever I want. And then to the right of it, you have a drop down box. And I know it's really small, but you guys get the point, is that here you have your standard colors, red, orange. So the RGB, colors of the rainbow. What is it? Roy G. Biv. Yep, Roy G. Biv. Or you can do other. And if you guys I know you guys all know Roy G. Biv. Gretchen, if they don't know Roy G. Biv, you're going to have to like yell at them. Red, orange, it's the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, Roy G. Okay. And then from there, it opened up. So what I did was it opened up your regular Apple color wheel, and you can either choose your droplet if you want to choose a specific color that you want to go to, or if you customize a lot in Ecamm and use your colors, you're familiar with all of this stuff. So you can get really specific. I'm going to do navy blue. So I'm going to choose a darker blue, let's say a midnight. I'm going to hit OK for my work calendar. And if we look back now, and I will just change back to Fantastical. And I'm going to move my big head out the way over here. And if we go back to today, so the work events, if you notice above the green, the work events previously were like a lighter baby bluish kind of color. And now they're more of a darker color, which is a better representation of the bank itself. So that's that. Gretchen, you got it. Exactly. Colors of the rainbow, Roy G. Biv. I remembered that. That's crazy. Any other questions, guys, with Fantastical? I'm just looking at it, going through the preferences, want to make sure. You can import and export calendars. Let me see. Just going through the options of anything else. I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I want to do a separate class, a separate live stream of creating calendars, let's say from within Google, and how I started doing it that way, because then you can like subscribe, you can share your Google Calendar. So Todd, I don't know if you guys do that between you, and I want to make sure I get with you, with your son's moms. I don't want to just say, yeah, I didn't want to say your wife. Had to get that correct. But I don't know if you guys already share a calendar. If not, you can create a shared calendar from within Google if you don't know this already. And then from within Google, like you go to gmail.com/Google, you open up a calendar, you do a new calendar, you check on the box, shared calendar, and then you can actually send that link to the boy's mom. She can put it on her phone, and then you guys can both edit and add to it and see it simultaneously. So we can go over that because I've used that a lot in the past before with sharing calendars and things like that. That can be very useful depending on if you're working with teams or with kids in school with like their school stuff, or like a partner or an ex-partner or something like that. So Todd, thank you so much. I do not have an affiliate link for Fantastical. I don't even know if they have one. Honestly, I was on the website. Let me see. Let me look on their website. If we just go to FlexBits, I don't know if they have one. I've been good. They do have affiliates. Todd, if you give me a day or two, let me sign up for this today, because I can see, if you don't mind, because you asked. Shame on India for not being prepared. I didn't even think about that. But I will absolutely sign up for an affiliate. I'm going to do it tonight. And hopefully, it depends on how quickly they get back to me. I don't want you to wait for forever, but sometimes they're fairly quick. And you know what? So Todd, I'm just going to go back and ignore the other ones.
Ho, ho, ho.
Todd says, I share a Google Calendar with my wife now. Got it. Okay, so you know how to do it. Got it. Holler at me when you get it.
Ho, ho, ho.
I appreciate you, Todd. And you see I'm going over the other ones? I did. I did. I actually did it this morning because I know how great you are at being consistent, and not no shade kind of way, like staying on top of me. And I do appreciate that. I paid for both of them for her this morning. Got them on sale. OBS, thank you so much, because I did have to use the incognito trick. So I thought of the both of you guys, all three of you guys, because Gigi was getting at me too. I did have to use the incognito tab, and I got her the angiegemini.live, and I also got her the angiegemini.com. And what's even more cool is that we've been talking about, she's been mulling over, kicking over the idea of doing it. And when I sent her all the information, and I created the account for her, so I didn't like buy it as me, I bought it as Angelica. She's been tossing the idea back and forth of doing like her own blog and stuff. And so I did set her up with the Google domains. I paid for it for the year for angiegemini.live. And I think she's going to set up and do one of the WordPress emails just to get her started, WordPress website to get her started so she can do a blog through there. So thank you for helping me stay on top of it. And now we have to stay on top of her so that she can follow through. Paul says, if you don't have a name.com domain, you can get one for $5 off at mrmoderator.me/domain. All right, Paul. Look at Angie coming in mad. Babe, do you have your headphones on? I hope that you have your headphones on at work. She's working, guys. She's working in the rehab facility facility with the peoples. You better have your headphones on. Todd, I already said we are, what did we say? What are we going to self-proclaim domain addicts? Don't be blaming me. So you brought another one. Which is the one that you bought? And Gigi was still here silently listening, showing support. Very happy. Yeah. So Angie, now you got people. You have a community. You have been added to this community, and this community has love for you. But what that means is that this community will now hold you accountable. So if you're saying you're going to do a blog, you better get on it, girl. This stream is rehabilitating. That's good. I'm glad. That is all for tonight, I think. And then tomorrow is Saturday. We are kicking off the weekend. Tomorrow, I did block time off with myself. If we go back and we look at my calendar for tomorrow, you can see Stream Deck Masterclass recording from 10 to 5 on Saturday. And then I also did it from 10 to 5 on Sunday. So I have committed to myself to make sure that I do that. I blocked off. Oh, look, I have some work events next week. Oh, I got to add some other stuff that just came up too. But I did block that time off. So that is what I will be doing this week. I am very excited for that. Angie, I put you on my list. The U is missing. What? The U? Wait, what? The U? Oh, I put you. See, I didn't even realize that. I put on my list. I put you on my list. Okay, good. Got it. All right. I'll stay out of it. You weren't even talking to me. So today we did add some more topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Text Expander. And we're going to talk about iOS reminders. So we'll do some streams on that. I am exciting. Tomorrow we're going to come back. You know how I do on the weekends because we've been doing good streams throughout the week. So the weekends tend to be shorter. Let's see. An hour and a half, and we got cut off like 10 minutes today. No, we got cut off like 20 minutes into the stream today. I think it was about 20 minutes. No pressure. I have no idea what to do with them. We're going to help you because you are in the right community. We are going to help you, girl. Schedule it out. I need to schedule for you. Yes, OBS. You definitely need to add the scheduling for you. So tomorrow we're just going to come back with a recap of what we talked about, putting all the pieces together with everything that we talked about this week. On day one, we spoke about domains. And pretty much it was about your personal branding and your own marketing. That was the theme of this week. So we talked about domains, the importance of domains, how to purchase your own domains, but we didn't have to talk about too much of the hows because we are all self-proclaimed domain addicts. And if anything, we all collectively got together and we brought Angie now into this club. So within the next couple of weeks, Angie will most likely be a self-proclaimed domain addict. So I don't know if that was good or bad, healthy or not, but we brought someone into our team. And then on Tuesday, we talked about now that we've purchased our own domain, it's like, what do you do with it? Well, we use Rebrandly because we are going to further our personal branding and marketing, and we took those domains that we have bought and have been coveting and using, and we are now rebranding every single link the way Mr. Moderator did with this amazing link right here. This is a perfect example. He rebranded this link. He put mrmoderator.me/domain utilizing Rebrandly. Personal branding and marketing at its finest right there. And so SPDA, Gretchen, self-proclaimed domains. I love it. Hashtag SPDA. I wish we would have come up with that sooner, because I could have done an overlay that I would have pressed a button. Then every time I would have said it, I would have put it up on the screen. That would have been fun. Hey girl, hey, whoever this is, Facebook user, how are you? All about the domains. So we did that on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we took a break, or that was Monday. On Tuesday, we took a break because I had my first time homebuyer seminar. Then on Wednesday, what did we do? I lost track of this whole week. Are we on this week? Let me take a look at this schedule. I don't even know what I did this week. So we did domains. We did Rebrandly. I don't know, guys. I know I did Calendly. Fantastical. Hi, Carmen. How are you? What did I cover this week, guys? I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on, because we are going to end it. But now I'm like, so it was domains, Rebrandly. Wednesday was the day. Monday, domains. Tuesday, Rebrandly, or Wednesday, Rebrandly. Oh, that's what it was. Then we did Calendly. Man, my week has been a long week. I appreciate you. No, we didn't do any Canva this week, Paul. Paul, you're worse than me. We did no Canva this week. It was just domains, Rebrandly, nothing, because I did the first time homebuyer seminar and all we did was talk. Calendly, and then today, Fantastical. That's what that happened. Carlos says, let me know if anyone needs an official diagnosis as a domain addict so I can prescribe the right medication. Carlos, that is all of us. SPDA, that is all of us. Self-proclaimed domain addict. So tomorrow we will come back. We will wrap up on Sunday. We will be here to talk about the week ahead. We're going to do some cool things with digital note-taking, iPad, Apple Pencil, some more things. And I will hope that on Monday, my website will be completely live and launched. And that is all she wrote. I appreciate you guys. You guys were troopers tonight with my stream getting booted. I have to contact YouTube and find out what happened, what they're talking about scamming or spamming. They don't know what they're talking about. I appreciate you. Todd says,
Ho, ho, ho.
And he also says, wonderful stream. Thanks for the information. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you
Ho,
found
ho,
it
ho.
insightful. Have a good night. Thank every single one of you guys. Let me look at this. Where are we? Oh, I don't even know now. Let me see. I got too many layers here. That's what that means. We are at, is it coming up? Hey, no. Well, today, day 19. Tomorrow, hold on. Tomorrow, we will be at day 20, you guys. That's huge. Day 20 with 80 days to go. I will catch you guys on the flip side. I don't know where none of my scenes are. So we're going to do this. I'm just going to go through my scenes. My windows are all